momento donde tomas esta decisión de la meditación y cuando te llegó que ya es momento de anunciarlo?
Me sentaron así. Sí, sí. Sí, un poquito, sí. Sí, sí. Ahora me siento muy relajado, ¿no? Puedo jugar el campeonato con mucho más divertimento en mi corazón. Stessa cosa. Vado all'officina, lavoro, no? Scrivo, le cose così. Però ritornerò sicuramente in Italia per aiutare i giovani a giocare questo gioco che è bellissimo. Però per me giocare professionale ancora no, questa porta è chiusa.
It is life. I love everything about this game.
Kobe Bryant, everybody. I want you to stay relentless. The Black Mamba, you take us.
I got
okay? You're the man.
A long journey. We're ready to go.
I don't want to be a one-man show.
I have decided to skip college and take my talent to the NBA.
Kobe Bryant from Lower Merion High School.
I'm going. I am a 17-year-old kid, but at the same time, you have to understand when to separate business from pleasure. I don't think you can mix the two, because if you mix the two, then that's when you start to fall. Now it's time to go in there, and it's time to do some work. Go in there, and I'm going to work hard every day.
I'm young, but I'm not going to back down from anyone.
Welcome to the Kobe Show. Take two.
How you doing? My name's Kobe Bryant. Pleasure to meet you.
Golden jersey, baby.
Here we go. Lifetime dream. It's finally been realized. The most important thing is thinking longevity. You can't settle for this season. It's bigger than that. You have to keep working on your basketball skills every day.
The 18-year-old Kobe Bryant, the youngest player to ever appear in a regular season NBA game.
Kobe Bryant will take an 18-year-old rookie. Short, no time remains. Bryant for the tie. Another air ball.
I mean, what Babe Ruth said, he swings big and he misses big. Same thing with me. I have no fear whatsoever. If I take the last second shot and I miss, so what?
How did you get mentally and emotionally so strong where it doesn't bother you?
Well, you got to look at the reality of the situation. Like for me, it's not, you kind of got to get over yourself. Like, it's not about you, man. Like, okay, you feel embarrassed. You're not that important. Like, get over yourself.
That's where you go.
Get over yourself. Right, like you're worried about how people may perceive you, and like you're walking around and it's embarrassing because you shot 5 air balls. Get over yourself, right? And then after that, it's okay. Well, why did those air balls happen? Got it. High school, year before, we played 35 games max, right? Week in between, spaced out, plenty of time to rest. In the NBA, it's back to back to back to back to back to back to back. I didn't have the legs, so you look at the shot. Every shot was online. Every shot was online, but every shot was short, right? I gotta get stronger. I gotta train differently. The weight training program that I'm doing, I gotta tailor it for an 82-game season so that when the playoffs come around, my legs are stronger and that ball gets there. So I look at it with rationale and say, okay, well, the reason why I shot air balls is because my legs aren't there. I go, well, next year they'll be there. That was it.
Done.
The confidence is picked up. Understanding the game mentally. Once your confidence goes, then your skills pick up. Well, I think one of the responsibilities is you have to set an example every day.
Kobe Bryant elevating.
What did I just see?
Kobe.
Are you absolutely kidding me? He is not human.
When I first came into the league, I guess you could say I was maybe a little arrogant. Now I look back and I kind of smile at that because your game really what gains your respect. It's not really the attitude that comes along with it. And it's just funny to kind of look back and look at the way I've been able to mature and grow as an individual.
You talked about him being in one of those zones. Yeah. He's definitely in it right now. For three again, yes! 81-point game, 55 in the second half.
It's about the W. I turned it on because I felt like we were a little lethargic. So I just started going full bore, and it just turned into something special.
Extends and puts it down. He has the all-time record at Madison Square Garden, 61 points. Just an epic performance by Kobe Bryant.
We have to make as people, as individuals. If you want to be great at something, you have to make inherent sacrifices that come along with it. Family time, hanging out with your friends. So at the age of 18, I knew that I was not going to be stopped. This was my life.
Here's a fun thing I found out about you, though. You nicknamed yourself. What is it?
The Black Mamba.
Okay.
Yeah.
What? Where'd that come from?
Well, honestly, I stole it from Quentin Tarantino, to be honest with you.
Oh, right on.
From the movie Kill Bill.
Yeah.
But it was like, you know, if you look up the Black Mamba, the snake, it's extremely deadly.
Get
extremely
it,
you know what I'm
Kobe.
saying? So like, for me, when I play basketball, that's the space I go into.
It's like
don't
your
mess
Sasha
with me,
Fierce.
don't talk to me, exactly.
Yeah.
Parents were great. You know, growing up, you know, they instilled in me the importance of imagination, of curiosity, and understanding that, okay, if you want to accomplish something, I'm not just going to sit here and say, yes, you can do whatever you want. Yes, you can, but you have to also put in the work to get there, right? So they taught me that at a really early age, man. And when you grow up as a kid thinking that the world is your oyster, and all things are possible if you put in the work to do it, you know, you grow up having that fundamental belief. I always dreamed as a kid that, you know, it was possible to score 80 or 90 or 100. I always just like, you know, had a dream. You know, like sometimes you lay down in bed and you visualize things, and you just kind of, you know, that's at least how I would go to sleep. I'd lay down, I'd imagine playing for the Lakers, and I would imagine what the uniforms look like. I would imagine where we'd be playing, and, you know, the smell of the arena and all sort of stuff. And I would see myself, you know, getting hot, you know, and score 10 straight points. But in a dream, like, why would you ever interrupt that? Like, you're not going to have a dream and be like, okay, and then he misses his next 6. Like, it's not going to happen. So you just keep dreaming and dreaming and dreaming. And before I go to sleep, I'm like at 120 points, you know? And so when you grow up, downloading that into your brain over and over and over. And then, you know, that summer, I made 1,000 shots a day. 1,000, right? That's on top of weight training and my conditioning. I made 1,000 shots, and they weren't just shots. It were shots that you saw in that game. They were specific shots. I mean, it was coming out of the corner, going to the pinch post, footwork in the post, coming off the screen. It was very specific. So when you download that into your system and you go out in the court and you're just executing things that you've done thousands of times before, and you have that dream, then that becomes possible.
Yeah, everything's been, not choreographed, but it's been practiced so many times that it's second nature.
There's why reinvent it? Like, I don't understand that. You go out and play the game and you're just trying to create something new. No, this is what I do. This is what I do extremely well. You're gonna have to stop me from doing that. And if you do stop me from doing that, I have a counter to that.
That's Kobe. You see the finish by the kid?
On the West Coast, LA Showtime, doing our thing. Back down, fade away.
Kobe down the middle, in the air, shows up a
Because I went to UCLA almost parallel when you came to LA. So I would see you on campus, I would see you working out in the gym, and I would know, like, damn, this motherfucker's, why is he not playing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I looked at it from a point of view, like, I see this dude work out, like, people don't play, like, he looks like Michael Jordan out there. Like, I would see he would come in after our UCLA practice. I remember one time, you had broke your right hand, and you came up to UCLA and did a whole workout left-handed like you were a left-handed player. Yeah. And I was just like, what the whole fuck? And then the next season he came back shooting left-handed shots. People were like, oh my God, he's this. I was like, no, he worked on that shit his whole time he had this hand in the cast.
Yeah. If you watch Kyrie get all that from you.
It was just mad?
Lowest moment. Like, I know we had a couple low moments in our career where, you know, it's either things we control or it was our fault. What was a low moment in your career? I don't really see you having that.
There was a couple of them. Well, losing to the Celtics in 08 was tough. But before that, like at the beginning of the journey, was not playing. So coming in as a rookie and saying, man, if I knew shit was gonna be like this, I would've went to school.
Interesting.
Right, because I felt like my coach, Dale Harris at the time, was trying to make sure he did not show favoritism to the young kid. And as a result, he swung completely the opposite direction and doing things that weren't really fair. And I mean, not playing. You know, so like my first 2-3 years were
Brutal.
were a nightmare.
See, people don't know that. People don't know that. People don't know you went through that your first 3 years.
No, it was tough. I mean, I sit around, I watch all my peers going out there playing 35, 37 minutes. You know, AI, Ray Allen, they're all doing their thing. And I'm sitting here glued to the bench, getting really, really pissed off and ticked off, thinking I should have just gone to college. I mean, that was the hardest part. Yeah.
What was that breakthrough when it was okay and that your number was called? Did someone get hurt? You finally just started trusting you? What was it?
During the lockout season, when the season started, Rick Fox had plantar fasciitis in both feet. He wanted to play somebody else in front of me, and that person got hurt. And so then he had no choice but to start me at small forward. And so this is when like small forwards were
big.
Small forwards.
Yeah,
this was KG, this is
right.
Sharif Abdul-Rahim, this is Pip, this is like, so I started the first 10 games at small forward. I think I started like 7 straight double-doubles or something like that. And then I've been in the starting lineup ever since.
No looking back.
But who the hell knows how long when I came off the bench before Rick didn't
Crazy.
get injured. So I remember being a kid and going to games, expecting to see the players play. It never occurred to me at the time that they might be tired, might be sore, they might be sick. It never occurred to me. I just wanted to see them do what they do. I think about that. Doesn't matter if I'm sick. It doesn't matter if I have a sprained ankle. The kid that's sitting in there might be the next me sitting up there, watching and trying to get inspiration from that. I need to go out there and play. Like I would watch Magic play. I'd watch Michael play. And I would see them do these unbelievable things, and I'd say, you know, can I get to that level? I don't know, but let's find out.
That's why he's the best player in the game.
This is a fun game for me.
Everybody's talking about Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan.
Oh, well, this is the matchup that everybody's been waiting to see.
I learned a lot this game. A lot about how technically sound Michael was. Because it's one thing in watching him play, and then it's another thing in playing against him.
He's now in a postgraduate course.
Yeah, boy. Accelerated learning.
His technique was flawless. I wanted to make sure my technique was just as flawless.
Been down at half court and you wanted to know how, when I turn around on my jump shot, how to feel the defense. I told him you should feel the defense with your legs. Once you feel the defense with your legs, you can take advantage of that.
That was very inspiring for me. Every time I do something, if I'm playing well, they always compare what I'm doing to what Jordan used to do.
This is a patented Kobe Bryant shot. Did he get it from Michael Jordan? Oh, yes, he did.
The youngest in NBA history to reach 23,000.
I appreciate the comparisons. It's a great honor.
4, 3, 2. That's all right. I shoot him better when the clock going down.
The truth of the matter is, he's helped me out a great deal. I reached out to him, he'd hit me right back. I asked him for advice, he'd give me advice straight from his heart. Continues to be helpful to me to this day.
What you been up to, laying low?
Trying to.
Were there some names that you looked at and says, these three guys are as crazy as I am?
At the time, I deal with what I've referred to as Goat Mountain. I went to Goat Mountain, and I talked to Magic, Michael, Bird, Hakeem Olajuwon, Jerry West, Oscar Robinson, Bill Russell. So I would talk to them. What did you do? What were your experiences? Michael in particular, he's become my big brother. He's been my big brother since I first came in the league. And what was that process like? So I went to them and started understanding the ins and outs of the game and how they approach things and their level of detail and obsessiveness, and that's what I did. The players that had that passion but weren't willing to commit their entire lives to doing it.
you really want me on the team? What's your approach to recruiting?
You want first place, come play with me. You want second place, go somewhere else. If I got to fight to get you in the gym, that's a problem. That's a problem. You want players that are gym rats, players that want to be in the gym, that want to work. And then from there, you build on top of that. But if you're lazy, man, I don't want to talk to you. I won't deal with you. You're going to make me feel dumber. You know, you're going to lower my level. I don't think so. You can go over there. Everything was done to try to learn how to become a better basketball player. Everything. Everything. And so when you have that point of view, then literally the world becomes your library to help you to become better at your craft.
So because you know what you want, the world's giving you exactly the information you need to become better at it.
Because you know what you're looking for.
You start with, what do you want your game to be? What would make your game most unstoppable or hard to deal with? And now you work backwards from there. And you start building it one piece at a time, one move at a time, one counter at a time.
My philosophy was a very simple one. And this is where I think film plays a big part of my life. Rudy was one of my favorite films growing up, right? And if you guys haven't seen Rudy, I suggest you go, you watch. But after watching that film, I come to understand if I could work that hard every day, with being blessed with the physical tools that I have, what would my career be? And I made a promise to myself from that day that I was going to work that hard every single day so that when I do retire, I have no regrets. And that was the most important thing for me, is to leave no stone unturned, get better every single day. And if I lived that way, then over time, I'd have something that was beautiful. But that was my philosophy. It seems like a pretty simple one, but if you live your life to just get better every single day, you do that for 20 years, what do you have?
So many guys tell stories about your work ethic.
Yeah.
What was really your work ethic like, and for how long did you stay disciplined?
Well, every day. Since 20 years. It was an everyday process, and trying to figure out strengths and weaknesses. For example, jumping ability. Man, my vertical was a 40, it wasn't a 46 or a 45. My hands are big, but they're not massive. Right? So you got to figure out ways to strengthen them so your hands are strong enough to be able to palm a ball and do the things that you need to do. Quickness, I was quick, but not insanely quick. I was fast, but not ridiculously fast. Right? So I had to rely on skill a lot more. I had to rely on angles a lot more. I had to study the game a lot more. And but I enjoyed it though. So like from the time I can remember when I started watching the game, I studied the game, and it just never changed.
The next pillar, be obsessive. Obsessive. That's I think a lot of people equate that with you. Kobe is obsessive in a lot of things. Yeah. We've been doing this for 8 years now, Asia tour. I've been with you for a long way. The one moment that stands out of we've done, I don't know how many done. We've done 800 events. Mm-hmm. The one time was 4 a.m. We went out to practice at 4 a.m. And that was your idea to do it. But then all these Nike people are like, no, let's not do that. And then you're like, let's do it at 4 a.m. So you got security, you got brand marketing, sports marketing going, no, let's not do it. You're like, let's do it because that's your obsessiveness, right?
To me, it just makes complete sense.
Not to us.
But I don't like. Okay, so
see, all right. Usually, I'm sleeping at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
You're working out. So talk about that.
Okay, so if your job is to try to be the best basketball player you can be, to do that, you have to practice, you have to train, right? You want to train as much as you can, as often as you can. So if you get up at 10 in the morning, train at 11, right? 12, say 12, train at 12, train for 2 hours, 12 to 2. You have to let your body recover. So you eat, recover, whatever. You get back out, you train, start training again at 6. Train from 6 to 8, right? And now you go home, you shower, you eat dinner, you go to bed, you wake up, you do it again, right? Those are 2 sessions. Right? Now imagine you wake up at 3, you train at 4. You go 4 to 6, come home, breakfast, relax, blah, blah, blah. Now you're back at it again, 9 to 11, right? You relax, and now all of a sudden you're back at it again, 2 to 4, and now you're back at it again, 7 to 9. Look how much more training I have done by simply starting at 4, right? And so now you do that, and as the years go on, the separation that you have with your competitors and your peers just grows larger and larger and larger and larger and larger. It doesn't matter what kind of work they do in the summer, they're never going to catch up because you're 5 years behind. Right? So it makes sense to get up and start your day early because you can get more work in.
Is that genetic? Or is that something you ingrained and trained yourself?
No, it was
Who
just,
taught you that?
For me, it was just common sense. Like I can if I start earlier, I can train more hours, and I know the other guys aren't doing it because I know what their training schedule is, right? So I know if I do this consistently over time, the gap's just going to widen and widen and widen and widen and widen, and they won't be able to get that back.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it was just common sense and like thinking, how can I get an advantage? Oh, start earlier. Yeah, let's do that.
When did you start doing that?
Man, like in high school. It's a good separation for me, emotionally, to be able to put myself in a place where at practice or when I'm training or during games, I switch my mind to something else. I switch my mode into something else, right? For me, it's the equivalent of Maximus, Decimus Meridius, and Gladiator picking up the dirt, smelling the dirt. It's go time. Right? So that was my mental switch. It was like an actor getting ready for a film. You got to put yourself in that cage. When you're in that cage, you are that character. And then when you leave there, it's something completely different. But when I'm in that cage, bro, don't touch me, don't talk to me. Just leave me alone.
That piece both before and during the game. Pre-game, we watched you. During the anthem, you seemed to go to a place. Were you generating calm, focus, confidence? Do you have a mindfulness or meditative practice that you used while you played?
Yeah, well, Phil introduced meditation to us when he came to our team in '99, 2000. And it was something that I instantly gravitated to because I could see the effects. Right? When I used to watch, studying the games, the Bulls teams, and watching their demeanor, watching their composure. Playing in a tough place in like Utah doing the finals and being down 17, but everybody was like this. Right? You couldn't tell if they were down 17 or up 20 or a tie game. It never changed. And I was wondering why the hell that is. And that's when I started doing more research. And when Phil came, I immediately gravitated to it and then found myself accepted the challenge of finding what that space is. And for the 81-point game, man, to be honest, I wasn't even thinking about the game. My knee was hurting so much. I didn't know then, but I had a flap of joint of cartilage stuck in my joint line. And so my mind was really trying to go to a place where I don't feel that pain. And the game started, and because of that, I was just in a different space. I wasn't worried about what was to come. I wasn't worried about what just happened. I was just here. And when you're just there in the moment, playing plays right in front of you, your focus is heightened because nothing else matters. It wasn't until I became older that I realized that I'm actually working hard. This is fun to me.
Bryant again going to work, falls down. That's the Achilles.
I made a move that I make a million times and just popped.
Sore right shoulder is what the Lakers are calling it.
Felt fine when I went up, didn't feel too good when I came down. I've played with a torn labrum before. I'm not too concerned about it. There's an element of doubt as far as my game goes and being old age or something like that. I don't think that holds any value. The fact that I was playing my best basketball before I got hurt. The injury is the thing, right? So we just have to see who's ready. I don't want to do this anymore. I really feel at peace with it, excited for what's to come, honestly.
Kobe Bryant in his final All-Star game tonight.
It's a thrill for me to be here in this All-Star game, so thank you for voting me in.
The hesitation following jumper around, swirls around.
Get in there, ball. Getting all the rolls today. It was fun. I mean, I had a blast playing with those guys, laughing and joking with them on the bench, and I had a great time. I got a lot of funny looks my last year when people said, okay, what are you going to do when you retire? And I said, well, I'm going to be a storyteller. Okay, that's cute. What is that? So, well, I tell stories. Okay, all right, but so when you retire, you're going to go through different stages. You're going to be depressed the first week, the second week, and they would tell me this all the time. And so I felt like the nomination was validation that this thing is real, and I can do this. I do have talent other than dribbling and shooting the basketball. I can actually write.
Yeah, so.
Some of the things I've seen post-career that I love are obviously, you coaching your daughter and then your new fascination with writing novels. Can you go into detail with those?
Yeah, well, coaching the kids is fun. It just kind of came out of nowhere because my daughter just decided she wanted to play about 2.5 years ago. And so started coaching her a little bit, and then she made a local all-star team. And that's where we met the rest of the girls that are now on the team. And, they all started at the real kind of ground level, but they enjoyed playing so much, it just kind of grew into what it is now. And it's been a lot of fun. And then the novel writing really started just with the kids. The kids can't keep reading stories that have no relation to them whatsoever. And I don't mean just from diversity, like a color standpoint, not only just that, but from the fact that they're athletes and there's no story that kind of speaks to athletes. It's all there's princesses and sleep, and Prince wakes you up with the kiss and all that. I'm not trying to read my daughters that,
Right.
We enjoy that stuff, but it's not, it's not reality of it. You're not going to sleep and then wake up years later and be successful.
Right.
The process you got to work. You got to work. So I wanted to create stories that I could read to them, for athletes that go through that type of stuff.
Right. Tell me what it's like coaching your daughter, because I coach my boys. We'll be at the same tournament coming up this weekend. What is it like for you being on that sideline?
It's fun because I get a chance to sit and watch and ask questions. That's really my job, and my coaching staff's job is to really ask questions, and let them figure things out throughout the course of the game. And you'll win some and you'll lose some that way. We'll probably win a lot more if we felt like we would micromanage how they play the game and call plays and sets and all sorts of stuff. But we really just kind of sit back and let them process things and figure things out, because we are playing for the long game of them being the best basketball players they can be. But it's fun to sit there and watch them hoop.
I love it.
You've become a New York Times best-selling writer, which that's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So that was your last book, and now you have another book.
Yes.
Okay, and this one is Legacy and the Queen.
Yes.
What is this about?
It's about a young tennis phenom that finds that her true power comes from her accepting her own emotions. Right? In our world, the power and the magic within the world comes from your emotions. And once she embraces that, then she finds her magic.
That's a.
You didn't win an Oscar, and tell me what did that feel like to be able to say, to win an Oscar? Of course you wanted to be with 6 rings with Mike.
Yeah.
But you have something that he probably never get. You know what I mean?
Get one of these.
You know what I'm saying? Can't get one of these. So tell me about that.
It's different because in competition, it's a direct competitive thing. You know who your competitors are. You know who you
we got that bad
face. You know that. You know what I mean? So it's it's a direct competition. When it comes to the arts, it's not that. You just try to create the best thing you possibly can, and then see how, in this case, the Academy responds to it. So it's very different. Sitting there at Oscar night, there's nothing you can do. There's no need to be nervous. There's no need to, because things are what they are. It's out of your hands. You did the best job that you could possibly do, and then you go from there. But the biggest lesson learned from is you work with brilliant people that see the world the same way, and magical things happen. And that's true across industries.
We talked about setting limits and artificial limits and beliefs on ourselves. Granity Studios, what does the word granity mean?
It means greater than infinity. And I just took those words and then made a new word. And the whole idea is that, when I started playing the game, everything was about trying to be the best. Win as many championships as you can, yada, 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 yada. You get older, you start to understand that really it's about the next generation, that these championships do come and go, right? And there'll be other people that win championships, but the most important thing you can do is to pay everything that you've learned forward to the next generation to come. And that's truly how you create something that lasts forever, right? And so the fundamental belief of the company is create forever. Now, how do you do that? And that's how you create something that's greater than infinity. Inspire one who inspires the next, who inspires the next, and on you go. And that's the value.
Mm-hmm. And what's important to you, for whatever reason, I felt like I didn't feel good about myself if I wasn't doing everything I could to be the best version of myself. Mm-hmm. If I felt like I left anything on the table, it would eat away at me. I wouldn't be able to look myself in the mirror. Right? So the reason why I can retire now and be completely comfortable about it, because I know that I've done everything I could to be the best basketball player I could be. And so that's where it comes from for me. You can't leave any stone unturned. But the important thing to understand is you can't shortchange yourself. Like you're not cheating anybody but yourself. Right? I mean, you're tired. You're literally this far away from the line. Why would you not go that extra to touch the line? Right? So if I let him get away with that, right, all of a sudden he starts maybe to cheat something over here, right? Not give his best over here.
Did you do everything you wanted to do? Did you become the best basketball player you can ever become?
Well,
Did you become the best?
It's
GOAT?
It's weird. Like my vision of what my goal is changed drastically as I got older. So like as a kid, I said I want to be the best ever, right? And now you go through your life and everything you do is try to be the best ever, be the best ever, be the best ever. And as you get older, you start understanding that those things are very superficial things, right? And everybody has a different opinion about it. No matter what you do, I can win 20 championships. There's always an opinion on who's the best. Everybody has different opinions. And so I started really kind of understanding maybe that's not the important thing. Maybe the important thing is to, how do we as a team grow? How do I help my teammates be better? So that was the first change for me. And then as I got older still, it became more about how are you inspiring others? Won 5 championships, that's great. Another team won a championship this year. Team's gonna win a championship next year. Those things come and they go. But what stays is how do you use your passion and use that to inspire somebody else to create their passion? And then how can they pass that on to the next person? That is true success. So my goals have changed drastically from the time I was 6 years old to the time I was 17 to the time I was 25 and now sitting here at 37.
What's next, for you?
Well, I mean, it's always teaching the game, right? Teaching the game through various ways. We do camps and clinics, we do those things, but also through storytelling.
That way, what have you learned about yourself through these 20 years of being in the NBA?
Wow. What I've learned is to always keep going. Always. There's been times, particularly early in my career, where it just feels like this is the end. But what I've come to find out is that, no matter what happens, the storm eventually ends. And when the storm does end, you want to make sure that you're ready. And so I've really learned to put one foot in front of the other, good, bad, or indifferent, because eventually that storm passes.
You have talked about wanting to have your place in the history of this game. You said that from day one. That it was very important to you, that it wasn't about, yes, you've made a lot of money, yes, all that, but that was never your motivation. First word that comes to mind when I say these words, okay? Basketball.
Love.
Los Angeles.
Home.
Retirement.
Peace.
And legacy.
Wow.
Well, it's a good word.
Wow.
A one-point game.
For the win!
Dear basketball. From the moment I started rolling my dad's tube socks and shooting imaginary game-winning shots in the Great Western Forum, I knew one thing was real. I fell in love with you. A love so deep, I gave you my all. From my mind and body to my spirit and soul. As a 6-year-old boy, deeply in love with you, I never saw the end of the tunnel. I only saw myself running out of one. And so I ran. I ran up and down every court after every loose ball for you. You asked for my hustle. I gave you my heart. Because it came with so much more.
I played through the sweat and the hurt. Not because challenge called me, but because you called me. I did everything for you. Because that's what you do when someone makes you feel as alive as you've made me feel. You gave a 6-year-old boy his Laker dream, and I'll always love you for it. But I can't love you obsessively for much longer. This season is all I have left to give. My heart can take the pounding. My mind can handle the grind. But my body knows it's time to say goodbye. And that's okay. I'm ready to let you go. I want you to know now, so we both can savor every moment we have left together. The good and the bad. We have given each other all that we have. And we both know, no matter what I do next, I'll always be that kid with the rolled up socks, garbage can in the corner, 5 seconds on the clock, ball in my hands. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Love you always, Kobe.
I want to be the best when playing. And to be the best, you have to win. That's why I play the game. You know, that's what drives me.
Kobe Bryant from Philadelphia / Italy. Mamba, Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant from Lower Merion High School.
Mamba out.